Right, welcome back to another video. I should mention before the video starts, that my tripod is, still broken, so sorry about the horrible camera angle, but anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be featuring this, somewhat already exploded, Traxxas battery pack. I should probably zoom in a little bit, shouldn't I? Yeah, it's much better. So this battery pack, has been on one of my Traxxas vehicles for a while. It is pre-exploded. Well, not exploded. I was using it for about 2.5 hours straight on the trail, and I came up on a stream, and I flipped the car in the stream, and the motor died, because it's a brushless motor, and this battery pack started smoking, so obviously I trekked all the way back. Anyway, so after it started smoking, I just unplugged it, and I kind of just stayed out there for a bit, making sure that it wasn't going to catch on fire. I carried it back with me, and it's been sitting on a shelf for 2 years. The first thing I want to do, zoom out a little bit, I want to test how much juice is left in this, because I don't really want to be taking this thing apart and having it be, too electrically conductive. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to flip this for the camera, just like that. I'm going to flip that, and I'm just going to take these leads and shove it in here. I don't know if you can particularly see that. It's fine. I'll show it to the camera. Alright, so we are currently getting... Let's shove both these in here. I put it on the wrong setting, didn't I? Yes, I did. Appears we are getting... If I could actually get the leads in there, that'd be helpful. Or the probes, whatever these things are called. Ow. We're getting about 7.5 volts. Yes, we're getting about 7.5 volts out of this. This is what is this? This is a 12-volt battery pack. It's it's 3,500 milliamp. So I'm confident that this is not going to combust or shock me or anything. In case it does, I have a thing of baking soda here that I can just neutralize. I don't want to spill that. Anyways, I would have my soldering iron. If I absolutely need my soldering iron, I'm sure I can find it, but I feel like this is going to be more of just some electrical tape or just dispose of it. So I have some cutters right here. These actually came with my Ender 3 3D printer. Not specifically meant for this job, but I suppose it'll do. Let's get a better camera angle on that. Alright, so I'm going to just cut into this. Actually, I better start with the bottom here. I better start with the bottom. So we're just gonna cut, being very, very careful not to touch any of the contacts on here. It's kind of a tough, I don't really want to wreck this plastic too much, because I don't have the same grade of plastic to replace it with, anyways, so just gonna do some basic cutting. Again, I don't want to mess up this plastic. It's not cutting too well. I can already see... I can see where I'm cutting, it's just kind of difficult with the camera. I can't really see under the sticker on here, which is kind of helpful. I should mention that when this battery pack is plugged in, I do have my battery pack's charger around here somewhere. And when it is plugged in, it charges for about 2 minutes, and then it stops charging, and the batteries are supposed to take about 1.5 hours to charge, so I know... So I know that this battery didn't just, maybe overheat or steam or anything. It's thoroughly dead. This was actually the first battery pack that came with my Traxxas vehicle. Again, horrible camera angle. Yeah, this was the first battery pack that came with my Traxxas vehicle. And I would like to salvage it, because at the moment I only have one, and they are really expensive. Right, we've gotten that just about open. And taking a look inside, it is just a whole bunch of Traxxas branded power cells. Alright, well, is there an end cap? Is it gonna come off? Yep. Oh, or not. Oh, oh boy. Alright, let's cut this electrical tape off. I did put loads of electrical tape on here, and I probably could unravel all this and save it, which I'm actually gonna do, because I might need electrical tape for this, so give me one moment. Alright, with that electrical tape unraveled, it's pretty easy to just take that collar off, and now we have exposure to these cell terminals. I don't particularly know what these are secured together with. Let's get oh, that's all the camera goes. Alright, I'm not really sure what these are exactly secured with, but we can sure as hell test at least one. I believe this is wired in series, I think. there's, oh shit, what did I just, alright, I just took off one of these things off the back. It just kind of fell off. Might as well take the other one off now. Yeah, these are just kind of, oh boy, it's gonna be hard to focus on this. These are just kind of like pieces of paper with some, I don't know if that's, yeah, it smells like cellophane. Anyways, so I believe these are going to be wired in series. I'm just going to grab this again. It's going to set it to something that's good enough for me. And let's test what's in here. But 1.3, and on these terminals, on the other end, we were getting about, actually, we're getting nothing. We are getting, 7.5. So something's gone wrong. So we get 1.3 when testing here, and then we get 7.5 when testing here. So something's gone wrong in between these. I'm just going to undo that and end cap. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, shit. Well, there's quite a fair bit of dirt. I don't know if I'm going to get a great camera angle on that. There's quite a fair bit of dirt. Let's adjust that light. There's quite a fair bit of dirt on here. I don't particularly want to touch that in case this is just a dirt problem. Because, again, this did just smoke. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a microfiber cloth. Alright, so I'm just going to wipe off this dirt. This shouldn't be the problem, because I don't think all this would just be caused by this dirt. Ooh. So quite a bit of corrosion. I don't have a Dremel here, but I don't, ooh, ow, a little bit of shock. I don't believe that that's actually going to be what's causing the problem here. I believe it's going to be more of a other issue. So let's flip that around for the camera. That'll be good. So we are reading about 1.3 on these. So that means that something, I was hoping it was just going to be one of these connectors or these connectors that's gone terribly wrong, but that's really interesting, actually. So they've effectively used the same width of cable that's here just to connect an extra power cell, where in theory they could have either put it at the back, because I know in my vehicle there is room at the back for another power cell, or they could have also put multiple up here, because there's like the ESC sits on top of here, you like slide it in, but then they could have put another one or even two. They could have put 4 here, but they decided not to. Anyways, I'm not even going to question that. But what we just discovered there is that the error is going to be in somewhere in here. I'm not really sure what these are exactly. Come on, focus, please. I'm not really sure what these are exactly secured together with. It looks just to be more plastic, with a bit of solder maybe. Ooh, I just looked at that. Wonderful camera angle. I don't know if you can see that there. It might, after a color grade this, it's probably going to be all gone. But there's a little bit of orange in this cell right here. There's tons of orange, which I think could probably be corrosion. Right, I'm going to go get some sandpaper, if I have any. If I don't, it'll be fine. I'm going to go get that, and hopefully we can start tearing into this. Yeah, so all I could find was actually this piece of sandpaper. It's 300 grit that I used for my lock picks. I sand all my lock picks with this, so this might not actually be the best. But either way, I still want to dig into this, because it's still going to be quite interesting. No, either way, I'm going to be very careful when stabbing these cells. Just going to do that. Oh. I guess I lied about being careful. It's an extremely bad idea, isn't it? Ooh. I'm not even entirely sure what happened here. Like, I know for a fact I didn't misuse this battery cell, so I'm not entirely sure why it's doing this. Why it's not charging right. Alright, there's that. I do know that when I actually plugged it into my vehicle to test this, my vehicle did power up. Alright. That's gonna get really annoying. Is this like its own thing? Can I just cut them all and just replace it? Oh, I believe I can. I believe I can. Oh. Or not, hold on. Ow. Don't use your teeth on electrical projects. Right, that didn't work at all. Oh boy. I'm gonna cut these off and I'll be right back. Right, so about halfway through doing this, I accidentally just, pulled part of the cell off, and these are just joined together with just, oh boy, can the camera please focus? These are just joined together with a tad bit of, just a little bit of solder. There's not actually much holding these together, so there's a bit of corrosion, ow. There's a bit of corrosion around here, so I'm just going to remove the rest of this plastic, and see what that's like. Right, that was a bit of a more nightmare than I thought. As you can see on some of these cells, the actual wrapping of the cells themselves actually came off. But for the most part, this came off cleanly. This is quite literally, if I can get the whole thing into shot, this is literally, more light, there we go. This is literally just 1, 2, 3, this is just 7 cells wired in series. Just gonna kind of throw all this away. Yeah, this is just 7 cells wired in series. Again, I have not exactly diagnosed the problem. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through each individual cell, and I'm just going to test what it reads current-wise. You cannot see that. Oh, you can see that. Can you see that? No, you can't see that. Right, I'm just going to go through each individual cell and test what it reads. Come on, get in the contact. Oh boy, I am really bad at this. Come on, come on. Get on the contact. That's the flux. So this one's reading about 1.1. This one, if I can get on the damn contact. This one's reading about 1.2. This one is reading about, I took the probe off at 1.2. This one up here, this is the top one that was on the top. This one's about 1.2. These should be all about 1.2. That one's about 1.3. Oh, is this the broken one? Or am I broken? Am I not doing this right? Oh, I don't think I'm doing this right. Hold on. Oh, this one actually had the, let's zoom in a bit. This one actually had that's just the bare cell right there. That's actually the negative, or the positive more of, just kind of like laying there. Should still put out a charge though. Unless this is the broken one. I believe this could actually be our problem, because let's see what the next one's reading. One there, and this one's 1.2. Right, I believe this is gonna be our broken one. Alright. I don't particularly want to undo this solder, because I don't think I'm actually gonna be able to get it back on. Oh, I just shocked myself a little bit. Yeah, there's not too much, let's get a better camera angle. There's not, like, too much visible damage on this. It's kinda more, it's bizarre. Alright, I'm gonna diagnose this, 1 second. Right, so after, tearing that down, what I've concluded is that this cell has little charge. It was this cell right here. Oh, for the love of God. This cell, the dead cell, or I was going to call it the dead cell, has extremely low charge. It was this cell right here. I switched it to the 200M, whatever that means, and as you can see, it's drawing a small amount. It was drawing about 4 of whatever these 2000M, which is on the volts. This is like the smallest increments that you can measure in. So I'm about to do the dumbest thing I've probably ever done on this channel. I'm actually going to connect it to its intended power supply. So I'm just going to put that over there. Actually, I'm going to need this in a minute. I better not put it over there. It's freaking plastic crap. So I'm just going to do this. I have these rubber gloves. These are fine. They'll be enough. And then I'm also not grounded with the help of some sandals. Yeah, so, this is the power supply that is intended for this unit right here. It's gonna blink in a second, and that'll tell me if it's working or not. It's gotta blink. It has to blink. I'm just gonna assume that it's plugged in. Oh, it's not. Right, no wonder why it wasn't working. So this is just like a standard connector. This is like a RC hobby connector that's then put onto a Traxxas connector right here. And so I'm just going to plug this in. Again, I'm not grounded, and I have these rubber gloves. So this should go fine. And this, basically how it works is you plug a regular battery into here. You can choose between, let's just zoom in a little bit. You can choose between 1 amp, 2 amps, and 4 amps. I know you're supposed to keep it on the 4 amps. I know that's just what everyone at this hobby says. So I'm just going to plug this in. As you can see, the light has just turned on, and I don't want this anything to go too wrong. So I'm gonna set this to 20, which is the somewhat lowest. That's the only camera angle that seems to work for this. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And let's start now. And let's start testing. So this one, pulling about, actually let's set it to 200 because now we can actually compare it. So this one's running about 1.2. This is obviously a voltage tester. This one's running about 1.2. This one's running about 1.2. I'm going to do all the non-broken ones first. 1.2. I already did that one. 1.2. 1.2. And then the broken one is running about 8.5. What? So all these are running about 1.2 volts. I think that's volts. I didn't do the conversion correctly, but I believe that's volts. Let's zoom in a little bit just so you can see that meter. So all of these cells, except for the broken one, so that's the broken one, and then all of these cells are running on 1.2, and then the broken one is running on 8.4, 8.5. This is bloody bizarre. I really don't know. And I'm very confused. So unless this is actually like a chemical problem, it could also be, I don't really want to touch this while it's on. I don't really want to touch this while it's on, so I'm just going to check the voltage again up here. And let's make sure it's the same. Gonna put the probes in. Now it's running about 8.4, 8.5. This is bizarre. This is the most bizarre thing that's ever happened. So this shouldn't be happening, obviously. It has to do with this cell right here. Oh, that is very warm. In fact, it has made a mark on my table. You can't see that on camera, but there is a visible mark there from where this was. Can I just... There's definitely... Ow. I realized I wasn't grounded. There's definitely something wrong with this cell. I don't particularly want to leave it like this. It's not heating up anymore. I can tell the heat is dissipating. I don't have a temperature gun or anything, to test. But I know it's... This is so bizarre. What is this measuring now? So it was measuring about 8.5 before. Now it's measuring about 0.7, and then if we go to the 200M, whatever that means, it's measuring 744 of those. So that is about 700 more than it was, 740 more than it was before. This is bizarre. It's just this cell that's broken. I lost my soldering iron. I genuinely cannot find my soldering iron. What I would do is I would solder this to this. I do want to take a closer look into what actually is making this broken. I was just comparing it to the other cells, what these actually the connectors look like. I don't think there's anything too major. If I just sand this off, there's nothing too major. I just want to sand off this corrosion. Maybe it's like a problem with that. Again, this is a bizarre phenomenon. Oh, this is an extremely bizarre phenomenon. Alright, I'm gonna plug this in again. I'm gonna unground myself. Help with those sandals. I'm gonna set this to 200 first. Again, you can see that. Hopefully, you can see that. I don't want to have this on for too long. So again, all these cells are running 1.1. Yeah. This one, 5.8, 6, 7, 7.8, 7.4, 7.5. This is bizarre. What if we go to the 2000? Did I end? It's not even on the... Well, it's just off the chart. That 1 means that it's off the chart. This is genuinely bizarre. I know... Okay. So it is running about 8.4 volts, and again, it is getting very hot. So it clearly was not an issue with the conductivity there. Again, this is a cell. I'm not really sure what happened. I don't think I was overloading the cell, because I know that these cells can go for more than the amount of time that I was using. I've ran these cells for this battery pack for 4 hours. A different one, but the same model. I have run for 4 hours at a time, and it's never done this. This is a truly bizarre thing. The only other thing I would think that could have happened is... See, I don't know what these are made. I know these are nickel metal NIMH, meaning nickel metal hydride. And so it shouldn't be doing this. Alright. I have an idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off using my snips. Actually, I want to zoom out. I'm going to cut this off using my snips. My knockoff. Oh, we're not. Oh, these work. These cut circuit boards. I don't know why they're not cutting a frickin' piece of tin. Ooh, I don't know if I particularly want to do that. Nah, I'm just gonna do it anyway. It's clearly this cell. That's causing the problem. And do the other one. And do the other one. I cannot seem to cut the other one correct. Ow. Somehow I'm getting shocked through the housing. That's not a good sign. Oh, there we go. Alright. I don't really want to have this near me. I'm just gonna put it into a bowl of baking soda to cool off. Right, so now we have an incomplete circuit that is now completed. I do want to actually test this, though. I'm going to do this very unscientifically. I'm just going to rest these 2 connectors on here while this charges. Yeah, that's good. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a small piece of electrical tape, and this is going to take a few minutes, so I'm just going to pause it. Alright, so I kind of went for a more redneck solution, and I just glued the 2 terminals together. Again, I lost my soldering iron, so I can't properly solder this. I don't actually plan on using this unless it does have a solder joint. So I either gotta borrow one from someone, or I gotta do something. Anyways, so now we gotta see what this thing is drawing, if I even did it right. Which I believe I did. I have faith in my electrical abilities. Right, so, is that in shot? That is in shot. Alright, if I could actually put it on the terminal. If I could properly put it on the terminal. Come on. Oh boy, unless this is actually broken. Yeah, it appears it's not actually working. I'm just gonna shove these together really hard. Yeah. Playing with battery cells is a really good idea. Alright, so these are pulling... Oh, or not. It appears to be fairly intermittent, which is kind of what you would expect from this. But I saw it jumped up to 2. Alright, I'm just gonna plug this in and see if it's actually drawing anything, or if it's just gonna explode on me. Alright, so we have one end, contact, do we have circuitry? It's very intermittent, so we're currently drawing 10. This one is drawing about 1.2, and then this combined one is drawing 10. Neither of them are getting as hot as this thing was. This one is still hot. I'm really worried about that. I might go throw it outside in the snow. Neither of these are getting hot while it's plugged in. Again, this is plugged in at the moment. Oh, the light's gone off. Oh, this is quite bizarre. This light goes off when... Oh, look at that! When I squeeze them together. So that's just because they weren't properly making contact. As you can see, they're now at 2.5. That is exactly what they should be. They should be exactly 2.5. And now the light's gone off, and then when I stick them together again, the light goes back on. And then when I pull them apart, the light goes off. And I stick them together, the light goes back on. And that's exactly what I expected, because I didn't solder these, meaning that it's just a physical joint that's actually it's just a oh, there it goes again. But let's hopefully get charging them. I just might just hold this here for a while. I want to come up with a more permanent solution, either a 3D printed cast for this, which I would like to do. That'd be actually a fun 3D printed project, if nothing else, because this battery pack effectively should be working again. Now that I got this still heating up defective cell, I don't really trust this. I don't think I should have charged it again. But I'm just gonna set this to the wrong one. No, that is volt. That is volt right there. All right. We're just gonna. Oh boy. All right. I'm just gonna unplug this now and just see. Ow. What it can draw. Ow. Shocked myself once again. All right. I'm just gonna see what this can draw. Again, it's gonna be intermittent. It's drawing 7.7. I'm not entirely sure what this is supposed to draw, so, oh, I did something. Oh, ow. Alright, I think I just disconnected them. So it's hovering around 7.7 when it is actually on, meaning that this can now draw 7 volts. I don't know what this is actually rated at, but I'm at least glad that I got the very defective cell out of here. I mean, this was, oh. Still quite hot. Does this have any power left in it? Let's just test this real quick. I don't really want to touch both ends. I mean, I know it's not. About half a volt. Half a volt. Why won't you do this, camera? Come on, I want to be able to show that off. Can I do that? Oh. Well, that's the best we're gonna get. Okay, so why is my camera being weird? Right, right, so I've just propped it up there, just so you guys can see that a bit better. As was stated before, this is only drawing about half a volt. I believe the image is reversed, but it's only drawing about half a volt. And then if we go back to 200M, whatever that is, where it was drawing around, yeah, it's drawing a lot more than it was, but I actually reversed the polarity, so I'd rather get the correct polarity in there. Oh boy, I've just reversed that. Ow. It's burning me. Right, so that's about what I would expect from this. Ooh. Yeah, it's getting quite warm. I don't particularly want to play with that anymore. Alright, so in conclusion, this battery cell, it blew up, I guess you could say. It smoked, it flamed out, and it was because this cell, I don't know if the chemical composition is screwed up. It's getting very hot. I don't know what to do with this. It's either because the chemical composition was screwed up, or I don't have a good place to put this. Here, I'll put it in here. It's either because the chemical composition was screwed up, or something happened, or it dented. There's no physical damage to this whatsoever. It's pretty pristine. Anyways, so I plan to, in the future, I do plan to do an update video on this when I actually can either find or borrow or get another soldering iron. I'm going to solder these two cells together right here and put this back together as its own battery pack. I can probably take these gloves off now. Save these for another electrical project. Oh, my hands are sweaty from that. Yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna, once I get my hands on a soldering iron, I'm going to solder these two together, and then I'm going to hopefully have a good battery. This packaging that I just stored the defective battery in can be used again, and I won't really have to make too many modifications. I will just have to tuck this extra battery. This was the battery on top. I will just kind of have to do something like that with it and just put the end cap on. Or I could completely remove these wires and just run it as a series instead of a parallel. Anyways, I'm going to go put this in a box, and I'll probably get 2.5 a year. If you have enjoyed, yep. Oh God, no.